Next on our agenda is co-chair Gayle Manchin of the Appalachian Regional Commission. And from the beginning, a lot of what we have done in terms of trying to integrate and bring resources together from different federal agencies to co-leverage our resources has been pioneered by the Appalachian Regional Commission for years. And so when we think about the example of how to work together across the federal agencies to make an impact on the ground, don't look any further than ARC, and you'll find some great examples. And certainly, Co-Chair Manchin has been, I use the word staunch supporter for Ollie's 80, and so how to say that even stronger for Gayle Manchin is that she is the embodiment of affecting impact into our energy communities all across Appalachia. And so, Gayle, it's a great pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, and it is an honor to be here speaking for this group that works every day across this country to improve the quality of life in our communities and for the people that live in those communities. So thank you for what you're doing. I am the federal co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission, and the reason that I am a federal co-chair is because 13 state governors are my commissioners. And at the ARC, we do nothing without the partnership agreement with our states. And so I think that's a success of the ARC. We don't go hand people money and tell them what to do. We work in sort of a three-pronged partnership. Plans begin at the community level. They identify the problem, they create a plan, they get buy-in, and then they get agreement with their state, and then ARC becomes the third partner. And it's a beautiful process. And I have spent the last 3 years, I'm in my 4th year now, of visiting projects around the 13 states and seeing the quality of work that is being done, the pride, the commitment, the dedication, and the expertise that is out there. But having said that, I will also tell you that I am from West Virginia, spent my life there, and so I've also seen the many challenges that our very small, rural, isolated communities face. And so when I became the federal co-chair, and through the unparalleled funds that President Biden has made available to rural America, which was a very pleasant change. My background is education, and I used to complain to the Department of Education that so many of their grants and plans did not address poverty in rural America. And they said, oh no, we've got this great project in inner city New York that you can model after. I don't think so. So we're very appreciative to the president for understanding. He's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. He's from rural America. That money that was available. But I knew immediately that we had communities that, first of all, would be scared to death when they got this money. Little communities that never gets any money, all of a sudden now you've got this infusion of money. And so part of them would just not do anything with it because they don't want to do anything wrong. And the rest of them might try to be doing something, but they're not sure what they're doing and they're not sure what the outcome will be. And so ARC developed what we call community capacity training. And we did this in 4 buckets. So the first group that we provided training for was elected officials, local governments. And that's to help people understand how to identify, access, manage, and implement federal grants or monies coming in. And then we addressed small foundations that are around our Appalachian states. And we wanted to help them understand how to strengthen their operations, their programming, and how to assist the communities in their work. And then we provided training for nonprofits in the area, for the executives and their boards to help them build and strengthen their board, their nonprofit, and also to be able to build their capacity in meeting their mission in helping communities. And then the fourth group, in the Appalachian region, we have what is called local development districts, and they're actually people, so we refer to them as LDDs. And so an LDD covers a region of a state, and they work then with the state to identify projects, people, communities that need assistance. So we provided training to them, and what we actually, so to give you some examples, we have awarded about $4 million to 41 LDDs to help, so they can hire assistants in helping our communities to, and also because they will be working with the nonprofits, the small foundations, and the local governments with their grants and money that is out there. So I talk about grants and I talk about this money that came to the states, but it's all about how do we make the best use. See, this funding will not continue forever. I don't want any of us to look back and say, oh, we could have, we should have. I want us to look back and say, wow, look what we were able to do. Look at the investments that we have made. Look at the transformation that we have brought across our communities and across our states. That's what we want to be able to say about this money. And so it's very important, whether we're talking about money that has come into the communities, whether we're talking about applying for power grants, which are for our coal-impacted communities, or our Inspire grants, which are about the continuum of care for substance use disorders, into training, to a job, to a safe place to live, to transportation, to child care, to help that individual actually move into a new life, a person that has hope and a sense of purpose, but has the support systems in place to make sure that he or she does not go back to that world that they came from. And then our third big initiative are our RISE grants. I traveled, I saw 13 states doing wonderful things. Unfortunate part is we're not the 13 states of Appalachia. We're the Appalachian Regional Commission. And so we needed to be working together. We need to be building our region. If we have a strong region, all of our states will be doing better. And so the ARISE grants are the initiative for states to work together, multi-state grants. And so we are very, very pleased with the work that has gone on there. And we are starting to think as a region. We're starting to think as 423 counties, 26 million people that can have a tremendous impact. And so I encourage any of you out there that are a part of an organization, if you're looking for training to how to build your community, it is about helping these individuals. These little communities usually can't hire a program manager or a strategist. I mean, you have one person, sometimes it's the mayor and the postman and whatever else is needed in that community. And you know, what we see is, as we evaluate grants and these initiatives, is that once you get a grant, the next one's easier. It's getting the first one. So we're very observant to make sure that anytime we're awarding grants, we're looking for those first-time people that are coming in. And the last thing I would say to you about this is, you know, I'm saying to our states, you've got to work together. You've got to forget about your borders and your boundaries. You've got to work together. And so I feel it's my responsibility, if I'm saying that then I'm reaching out to other federal agencies. EPA actually worked with us to provide this community capacity training. We have worked with EDA. We've worked with the Department of Agriculture. It's all about, we've all got this money, more money than we've ever had before. Why don't we work together to connect that money so that when we deliver a project, we're getting the biggest bang for our buck. We're not duplicating one another. We're not stepping on toes of one another and leaving big gaps in another area. And so I will continue to reach out to other federal agencies to say, how can we share? How can we share our information, our training, our networking to make bigger, better things happen? And I would just, one footnote to this conversation. I've been so pleased with the information that I've been able to hear here today. I love hearing words like transition, diversification, innovation. They're much better words than elimination and demonizing. And so I hope that all of you in here today understand that when you demonize an industry, you're demonizing every person that works in that industry. So if an industry is not clean enough, green enough, then that means the people working there are not clean enough, smart enough, or green enough. We've got too many people across this country that sacrifice their lives every day to provide the energy for this country that keeps this electricity running when we're having 100-degree heat. And they need to be respected and valued for the job that they do. And I thank each and every one of you for being a part of that community. Thank you.